Splash, Simba, Hydrox, and Boo, the Lucky Ferals. Right now, it is about 9:30 a.m. or like 9:20 a.m. I know it's after 9. I'm not sure exactly what time it is. And I'm just about to feed the cats their breakfast. And this is a Ziploc bag. And I had 4 of the scoops of the homemade raw food in here. And this is how they were defrosting in this bag. And what I realized this morning, which just made my life a whole lot easier, is that if I open this bag and pour water into the bag, it's so much easier just to squeeze this around and then mix the water into the food that way than what I was doing on the platter, like pouring the water in and then mixing it in with like a little kitty fork. And yeah, this was just so much better. I feel like the food absorbed the water better, and like right now I think it's like a really great consistency for them. It's really kind of like a soupy canned food at this point, but it's all still raw. So I'm gonna feed this to them and we'll see how they like it. This is how the cats were all gathered around me while I was just showing you the food. And here's Boo, he's on the steps. Want some food, Boo? Want to smell the food? The cats are getting 2 platters of food this morning. Both platters are the same. So in the middle we have the homemade raw food. And then on the edges we have the Primal Raw rabbit nuggets. So Splash and Stella are eating on their platter. And Simba's eating on the other platter and he's waiting for Boo. And Boo came down, like he put his front paws over here on the floor, but he would not like leave the steps. And I've been coaxing him with some bench and field treats to try to get him down here, but he doesn't want to come down. I don't know why. So right now he's on the 2nd step and he should come down. Maybe once the cats finish, I don't know. I ended up giving Boo his food on a separate plate because I thought he might eat it better, but he hasn't. So I'm gonna put some baby food on it, then he'll eat it. It is 10:45 a.m. and Boo's relaxing on a scratch and roll in the living room because somebody is on top of the cat tower in my room. This is what is going on top of the cat tower. Simba is sleeping. I find it amazing that he's not falling off and that he's balancing himself up there. Boo just jumped on the bed. Hello, Boo. Boo says he wants some pets. Okay, Boo, I'll give you some pets. I'll give you some pets. Boo got a lot of pets this morning. Boo slept on the bed all night. And he got pets this morning. Hello, Boozy. I would really like to check Boo's teeth right now and see what's going on in there. But I don't need to get myself stressed out today. So I'm going to wait on that. Like, I don't want to see what I don't want to see. I want to see the same amount of teeth that he had the last time I checked. And I have been like massaging his mouth, his jaw, all that area. But Boo, if he had his way, he would probably want to be petted like all day. Right, Boo? Hello. Okay, Boo. Boo, I'm on a schedule today, okay? Okay, Boo. I'm on a schedule. Okay. Simba just rolled over and curled up. Right now, it is 11:05 p.m. and you're looking at where Simba was just laying. So Simba was laying on the rug and Boo decided to jump on him. But instead of jumping on him, Boo stopped short of jumping on him. To me, it looked like Boo wanted to play with him. And instead of jumping on him, Boo kind of jumped next to him and kind of put his paw on him, kind of like, hey, Simba, let's play. And then Simba, instead of screaming, just kind of made like, almost like a chatter meow kind of sound and ran away. There was no fight. There was nobody like really overreacting. I mean, it startled Simba. I think more than anything, Simba was startled from it. And Boo then just kind of sat there like, what's going on? And then he smelled the rug where Simba was laying. And then he did the like that huffing thing where his mouth was like open and he was like just trying to like smell the area. So that to me was great because it shows improvement. Instead of jumping on Simba like he's done in the past, he just pretty much jumped next to him and he was like, hey Simba, let's play. And then Simba, instead of like screaming, just kind of like ran away. And Simba only ran like 6 or 7 feet from where he was laying. So it's not like he took off like in the past where he's like run to a completely different room. So here's Boo right now. He's like waiting for Crunchies. There's Splash right now. He's waiting for Crunchies. There's Stella. She's in the cat tower. And there's Simba. He just walked back toward the rug. He's not very happy, but it wasn't bad. 11:18 p.m. Simba and Splash are just about to go through their nightly ritual where Simba gets Splash to lick his head. Unless Splash is refusing to do it. It's about 11:30 p.m. and the cats are eating their Crunchies. They each got a tablespoon of Crunchies. Right now it's about 12:30 a.m. and I just posted tonight's video. And I'm up later than I wanted to be, and Boo's been sitting here next to me. Good morning, Stella. Good morning, Splash. Good morning, Boo. The Crunchy plates are still out from last night. I gave them Crunchies right before I went to bed. Good morning, Simba. Right now it's 9:11 a.m. The cats are just about to get their breakfast. My schedule's a bit off today because I was out later than I thought I would be last night and up later than I thought I would be last night. So I'm getting a bit of a late start today and I have a very full day ahead of me. Today for breakfast, the cats are each getting one of the Primal Raw Rabbit Nuggets, which you see on the left and the right of this plate. And I only have 1 scoop of the homemade raw cat food left. So that's what you see in the middle. I've actually split the scoop up between both platters. So this platter has half a scoop and this platter has half a scoop. I've also added a lot of water. And one thing I've noticed recently is that the homemade raw food is much redder than the commercially bought raw food. And I was like, oh, I wonder why that is. And then yesterday I was researching ingredients for homemade raw food. Now there's a lot of like pre-mixes on the market, mixes that you can mix into homemade raw food to give it more nutrition for the cats. And I have yet to find one that I'm really happy with. I don't want to mix with whey protein in it. That's dairy. That's bad for their lymphatic system. That's going to lead to congestion, possibly even constipation, digestive issues. I don't want one that is full of egg yolks. Egg yolks are very high in sulfur. Again, that increases the acid load in the body. Could be hard on the kidneys, congest the lymphatic system. Again, can have issues causing constipation and issues with digestion, and I'm also looking for something that is made with whole food ingredients like the commercially prepared raw food, where the nutrients are coming from actual foods like kelp or berries or fish like sardines versus isolated chemistry, like just adding this chemical for vitamin E and this chemical for vitamin B and so forth. So as I have been researching the ingredients, I came across information about the montmorillonite clay, which is an ingredient in all of the raw food that I buy. And it is a supplement that I could buy and add to the food. Now, I have been using clay for years. It is great for detoxification. It pulls toxins out of the digestive system if you consume it internally. And if you have any kind of issues externally on your skin, you make a paste of the clay and water, and it pulls the toxins out of the skin. So, for example, in the past, when I've gotten mosquito bites, if they don't kind of go away on their own fairly quickly, I make a paste of the bentonite clay with water, and you dab that on like you would calamine lotion, and it pulls everything right out, and there's no itching and there's no pain, and everything goes away. So anyway, as I was coming across this information, that's when it dawned on me. That's why the commercial food looks grayer than the homemade food, because they add clay. And the clay is a gray color that pretty much matches the gray color in the commercial food that I feed them. So I thought that was interesting. I thought I would share that information, and I thought I would explain where I am on that part of this homemade raw food journey, and why I'm mostly continuing to give the cats like half homemade raw food and half commercial raw food, along with some crunchies, because they are getting nutrition in the commercial raw food and the crunchies that they might not be getting in the homemade raw food, because it's strictly protein at this point, along with some wheatgrass powder. Okay, so I've been feeding the cats on 2 little platters, and I'm trying to get Boo to eat on the platter with the cats. And Simba's the one that wants to share with Boo. It's like Stella and Splash want to normally use the other platter, and then Simba is actually open to sharing his food with Boo. So what I've been doing is I've basically been using crunchies as a mediator. So I have like this little jar of crunchies, and I sit here with Boo and Simba, and I move the platter around and I add crunchies. Like if I see the 2 of them, like if they both stop and they're kind of assessing the situation, that's when I kind of step in and throw a crunchie on the plate, trying to kind of direct them where they should be eating. And it worked good yesterday. Okay, guys, ready? Crunchies? Like you see what they did? They just kind of stop and look at each other, and they're kind of like, you know, waiting for an attack or something, but they shouldn't be attacking each other. They should be eating. They should be nice to each other, and they should learn to eat together, because Boo and Simba should be buddies. So that's what I do. I kind of just sit here in observation mode, and then if Boo's looking for a crunchie, I give him 1 little tiny crunchie. And again, the crunchies are just dried cat food, and this is the Blue Wilderness dried cat food. And these are really tiny crunchies. What I'm noticing on Stella's platter is that her and Splash ate the homemade raw food before eating the rabbit nuggets, and Splash just ran upstairs. So a lot of times he'll do that. He'll eat something, then he'll run upstairs, and then he'll come back after everyone's done. These 2 are still eating their food. Yep. No, that's it, Boo. You can't eat out of the jar. You can't eat out of the jar. Over here. No, we don't eat out of jars. Go put it on your plate. I put it on your plate, Boo. It's on your plate. Here. Yeah. It's on the plate, Boo. Boo wants to eat out of that little jar. He stuck his nose in it. Okay, it looks like Simba ate almost the entire rabbit nugget, or a good portion of it. Now he's eating on the other platter. Simba likes the freeze-dried chicken bites, and Stella left those. She doesn't really like them. So Simba went to eat those. It is 7 p.m. I just got home, and Hydrox is on the rug. He just walked out from somewhere. He's meowing for some food. This is what he does now when he sees me. He meows a lot. He's always meowing at me. Look, he's walking toward me. Hello, Hydrox. You want some food? He meows loud. He meows louder than any of the inside cats. You want some food? Okay, so Hydrox was just like really talking to me, and he came up pretty close to me. I mean, he was only like 2 feet away from me. Today is the second time that I saw him with some drool hanging out of his mouth, and I know people have mentioned that it could be a sign of a tooth issue. So I put some herbs in his food when I saw that. I went inside and I put some healing herbs, and I also put some herbs for teeth and gums. And I put warm water in the food, and I made sure that it was nice and soupy, so he has absolutely no problem drinking all of it. It's a pate. It's one of the Trader Joe's chicken and rice dinner pate. And yeah, so now he's eating. I'm pretty sure he was just meowing at me because he was hungry. I hope he's not meowing at me because he's in pain or anything. It's not like I could do anything right now. I can't really put him in a carrier or anything like that, but I think he was sleeping in the bushes, and he just got up because he was not in one of the shelters. He did not come from that area. And he seems to be very hungry, and he seems to be eating. So I'm going to check the security footage. Maybe someone else ate all the dry food and there's no dry food for him, and he's really hungry. Don't forget, now that it is colder out, they need more calories and they need more food, so he doesn't want to skip a meal. But yeah, Hydrox has been a feral cat longer than I've lived in this house, and he does really well at it. And I'm not worried about him, so no one else should be worried about him. We should only think positive, healing thoughts toward him. So as I'm filming this video, let's take a moment and let's send healing thoughts toward Hydrox. Take this moment to send him thoughts of healing. Imagine him healing his entire body from whatever ails him. Imagine him free from any kind of pain. Imagine him free from any kind of health issues or teeth issues. Imagine him a healthy, vibrant, and vital cat. So Hydrox moved over on the patio and he's been sitting there grooming himself. See? Can you guys see he's grooming himself? So that's a good sign. Usually when a cat grooms themselves after eating, it means they're satisfied and they've had enough food and they're pretty much like getting ready to like go about the rest of their day. So hopefully Hydrox just is going to sit there and groom himself and then settle down for the night in one of the shelters. Notice he does not groom himself in a shelter or near his shelter, but he finds like a area away from the shelters to do his grooming, to get rid of the scent of food from him, so that predators don't smell the food and don't come after him. So this is what is going on with dinner for the cat. So I'm completely out of homemade raw food. So I gave them the Primal Raw Rabbit Nuggets. And they used to love these Primal Raw Rabbit Nuggets. I gave them 1.5 nuggets each. And I left room for some Benjamin Field treats and some freeze-dried bites. And then I just sprinkled a few crunchies around to entice Boo to come down as like a bribe. So all the cats had just a few little crunchies. And so Boo's eating, but no one else is eating. So what this means is the cats really enjoy the homemade raw food, more so than their favorite store-bought raw food, which is surprising. Hopefully they'll eventually go eat because this is what they're getting. Tonight I plan on making raw food, like hooking up the grinder and making another batch. The last batch lasted, I want to say, like a week and a half. And of course, I was giving them half homemade and half store-bought, which I think is a good compromise for now. I mean, I don't have to make the raw food as much, and they're still getting like the nutrition of the store-bought food. But they definitely seem to like the homemade food. Over time, as I make more of it and as I tweak the recipe and source more ingredients for it, hopefully it'll just improve and get better. Okay, as long as Boo's eating. The other cats will eventually eat theirs, but while he's here, let him get some food. It is 9:07 p.m. right now, and I am just about to make a batch of raw food for the cat. So in these bowls, to the left I have some chicken livers, to the right I have some chicken hearts. I just bought 2 larger packages of those today, and I've portioned them out. So for what I'm making today, I have about 8 pounds of chicken meat, and then I'm using half of a pound of chicken liver, so that ends up being like 5% of the total that I'm using. I'm using about a half a pound of chicken hearts, which ends up being about 5%. Also, it's actually a little bit less. When I weighed these out, they're about 7 ounces. But that's good enough. And what I've done is I have portioned these serving sizes into Ziploc freezer bags. So the next time I want to make raw food, I already have the liver and the heart measured out and ready to go. I just need to add the chicken meat. I'm also using chicken tenders. I have 3 packages of chicken tenders that I bought at the store. And the reason why I bought these is because of the pack date. The pack date on these is November 29th, which is today. And I want the freshest meat that I could find. I don't want something that's been sitting in the store for several days. So I got 3 packages of these. And then I also got a package of boneless thighs. It ends up being about 3.5 pounds of boneless thighs and 3.5 pounds or 4 pounds of the chicken tenders. And then I got 1 package of chicken drumsticks, and this is like a 2-pound package. I figure half of this is meat and maybe half of this is bone. So for this recipe, I'm basically using 8 pounds of chicken meat, 1 pound of chicken bones, and then 1 pound of organ meat. So it's like an 80-10-10 ratio. I'm also going to add some additional ingredients to this. I've been growing this oat grass for the cats, so before I give it to them, I'm actually going to cut quite a bit off, and I am going to put this in their food instead of the wheatgrass powder. I'm basically using some fresh cat grass. I am also going to be adding some of this pure wild Alaskan salmon oils for some additional omega-3s. Some people say to use salmon oil in capsules, but this is what I have on hand and I keep it in the refrigerator, so it should still be good. I am going to add a little bit of turmeric root. I've done some research and it's good for cats. It's anti-inflammatory, so I'm just going to add a little bit just to see how that goes. And that's it for this one. So basically this recipe is exactly like the raw food I made last time, except it has a little bit less bone because I'm using 1 package less of the drumsticks, and I'm using fresh cat grass instead of powdered cat grass. I'm adding some salmon oil and I'm adding a little bit of turmeric. Now, some people say that you don't have to add salmon oil or omega-3s to your raw food if the cats are eating fish once a week. So if you're giving cats like sardines once a week or some kind of food with oily fish in it, then you don't need to supplement omega-3s or any kind of fish oil in your raw food. And that's the information that I've come across. It is 9:28 and I just put all of that chicken, 10 pounds of chicken, through the grinder, and this is what it looks like. The darker red that you see are the whole chicken legs with bones. There's also some green in there because I did put some of the cat grass through there. Oh my gosh, the cat grass smells absolutely amazing when it goes through the grinder. Oh my gosh, it is like such a great smell. This is the cat grass. You can see I cut a bunch off. I'm still gonna snip some off. I feel like I want to put much more cat grass in here, but I don't have a lot more, so. I added some more of the fresh cat grass. I added 4 pumps of the salmon oil and 1 rounded teaspoon of the turmeric. Now I am going to put on some gloves and mix this all together, and then we'll get this in the freezer in portions. And here we have it. Everything is all mixed together, and what I am now going to do is just portion it out in scoops on pans and put the pans in the freezer. The first tray is done. This is going in the freezer. The second tray is done. And I've only gone through like 1/3 of the meat so far. Stella told me she wanted to try some food. She has been circling around me the entire time I've been making this. And she was like stretching herself up onto the table. So I put some down on a little plate for her to try it. And she just kind of smelled it and walked away. And it looks like Boo's not too interested in it either. I think they think maybe there's some crunchies. Here's the third tray, and I have to say that the smell of the cat grass in this food it's amazing. It smells so good, and for some reason this time when I'm making this, it's not grossing me out. I just feel like I'm making meatballs, but yeah, I still have a lot to go. I've only gone through like half the pan. This is the 4th pan of raw food. So this recipe that I made today, these ingredients, definitely made more food than the last batch of food that I made, because that made like 4 pans and that was it. And I still have more in this pan. I added some water to the food that was on this plate and I put a few crunchies on it, and then Boo ate it up. So at least he likes it. And I don't put water in the food before I freeze it because I feel that it freezes better without the additional water, but I do add water to it when I feed the cats. Thank you for watching this Lucky Ferals video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos, and please make sure to check out these other videos that were selected especially for you.